Hey everybody, it's Stevie J with your UFC on Fuel TV 8 recap. Now there were a lot of decisions on this card, so I'm just going to talk about the three finishes and the one controversial fight, and you can read the rest of the results in the description for the video. The main event was Briann Stann and Wanderlei Silva. They had a hell of a slobber knocker in the first round. Stann knocked him down at least twice, but he got his nose busted up in the process while they were trading shots, and by his own admission, Stann got too excited in the second round and thought he could just rush in and hit the axe-murderer, but the axe-murderer timed a sweet hook, knocked him cold, and that was it. He had maybe one shot on the ground before the fight was stopped at 4:08 of the second round. It was a left hand like the axe-murderer of old, but you won't see too many more of those. This might be the swan song for him. Unfortunately, some fighters just can't go out on a win, so I could see him staying well past the point it's reasonable. At least he got a big pop in Japan. Speaking of big pops, Mark Hunt beat Stefan Struve in the third round after probably losing the first two rounds, but he was very game on the ground. Struve was going for submissions, and he kept getting out of them, including one armbar that Struve just completely whiffed on. He went to grab it and pull back, and there was no arm there when he flopped to his back. But he was getting enough ground and pound while he was on top of Hunt that he won those first two rounds. But in the third, he just got caught by that jumping punch that the Super Samoan throws, and it was lights out. Hunt walked away. Herb Dean was like, "You got to finish this fight." And then Struve told him, "My jaw's broken. I can't fight." And then Herb Dean's like, "Okay, don't throw another punch. This fight's over." The official time was 1:44 of the third round. The only other finish of the night was the very first prelim on Facebook. Hyun Lim got a second round knee to the face on his opponent Guimaraes and knocked him out cold. 4 minutes even. Lim looked great in his debut, which Mike Hackler of AsianMMA.com predicted he would, so gotta give the guy some props for prognostication. In fact, he picked Wanderlei Silva in the main event as well. Now, the only fight where the scoring really caused a problem for me and where I thought it was completely bogus was Diego Sanchez and Takanori Gomi. To me, Gomi outpointed Sanchez in all three rounds. He was getting in and out. He was tagging him in the face. Sanchez just couldn't keep up with him. He got a couple of takedowns in the first round, and that was the only round I could conceivably think of Sanchez winning. But by the grace of God, some miracle befell him. You can't accuse the judges of showing hometown favoritism in Japan because Sanchez got two 29-28s and a 28-29. Almost nobody I talked to thinks Diego Sanchez won this fight. Even Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio that he doesn't think Diego Sanchez won the fight, and he scored it for Takanori Gomi. So everybody was perplexed, but that was the way it went. So the show started really good, and it ended really good, and there were a lot of decisions in the middle. As I said, read the results below because I'm not going to recap them all. It was a lot of decisions in a row. Stevie J for AngryMarks.com.